to another episode of Romance Unleashed. I am your host, Mel, and today we are live from Anaheim, California.
Wait, we are live?
No, like just.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You know what? It was a valid question.
I was going to tell you who was here, but you might
Hi.
already guessed. We have Allie Hazelwood.
It's like every Instagram live.
We have what's like the magic trio. We have Susan Lee and Julie Soto here with us to talk a lot of shit for about an hour. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
This is exciting.
This is the best day of my life.
I thought the best day of your life was when we met Saga.
That was the best day of my life.
Yeah.
This is the second best day of my life.
Great.
Okay. I thought the second best day of your life was when you decided to name your book Wet.
Actually, in hindsight, it was. Is it hindsight or hindsight?
We've had this conversation, which is the only reason I'm laughing at you.
Time. I always know that it's one or the other, and I never know which one. It's one of those things where I'm like, I should write it on my hand every morning.
We'll get a tattoo.
I speak backwards all the time, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's because I'm thinking in Spanish.
Thank you. In like the letter, like the I letter is pronounced E in Italian, so that's why.
Yeah.
In hindsight, that is just a day full of pain because of what happened.
Oh,
Yes.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Wet.
R.I.P.
Hashtag keep it wet is what I have been trying to trend. So,
And she has gotten like about
4 or 5.
15 views.
15 people have used the hashtag.
Use that for the special edition.
Hashtag keep it wet. Wet.
That's gonna get us like 5 more.
What?
Wet.
What?
Wet.
So sexy when you say it.
Okay, Julie, are you still on
Hey.
tour or what?
I guess. I mean, I ain't
guess
home.
technically.
That's for damn sure.
Really hasn't been every month.
I have not seen home.
When's your violin, your cello threesome book really
The
going?
yeah. The threesome between Gwen Zander and the cello. It's been going great. I did a book tour that ended what day is it? Last Sunday, and then went straight to Comic-Con 4 days later. Now I'm straight into Steamy Lit, and then I guess I'll see home in about a week, and then I will turn around and do like 3 more stops over the next 4 weeks.
Do you have pets?
I have Charlie.
Charlie.
King Charles.
Charles.
Is
I
your
have-
cat?
No.
Dog?
I think we have to do
Charlie.
hashtag justice for the tacos.
Yeah, Susan's real upset that the tacos didn't get eaten.
The
And I
tacos were exactly. This is what pisses me off.
in Not Another Love Song.
It's the cello. Do you know they went and were buying tacos at this like amazing spot, and then the tacos just got uneaten.
I basically said we had to sacrifice one taco for another.
It never doesn't say we do not eat them in the elevator. Like, so maybe we can think that they just carved them down. In.
Could you write that in fic, please?
I would write a fan fiction.
Fan fiction of no hookup scene there. It's just them sitting eating tacos.
What if they had tacos with the hot sauce and then he goes down on it?
Oh,
With the hot sauce.
No, I know
that's
that's
painful.
I know, but some people like that.
Yeah, some people are like.
Okay, we're learning
Okay,
things.
Can I hear
Allie should write this.
Can I tell us more about
Susan?
Susan?
More about the people.
I'm assuming.
I mean, to me, it sounds like a UTI, and it feels like a UTI. Probably. There's a lot of burn.
No, there are some who are in pleasure and pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan.
I heard, yes.
Susan, tell us more.
Do you like pleasure and pain?
Yeah.
No. My pain tolerance is like 0.
Okay, so what you're saying is no hot sauce.
Also,
when
my-
someone's going down on you.
No.
You don't want
hot
them to
sauce.
rip open that Taco Bell packet.
No,
and-
that's not
Spread
the
it
way go.
over.
That's for sure.
Yeah, to get that Diablo out of there.
Okay, but I know that there is like lube that is like spicy,
like
supposedly.
Yeah.
Not because I have.
But is it spicy for the person tasting it, or is it spicy for you?
It
I
hurts
mean, how
the
could it not be
person.
for the
It
other,
hurts.
for both?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're tasting, how could it not like kind of?
I'm just thinking of on
Mild
how hot
tingle.
ones, how they'll like
Oh,
like
they're
touch their
diving.
eye,
Oh,
and they're like,
diving.
Yeah.
So my idea is to do, this is totally a change of topic, but my idea is to do a hot ones,
Yeah.
but using all the different Korean ramen
Yeah.
because they have like all the way to buldak, which is like really spicy, and then making all of them eat it. She doesn't like hot stuff,
Nope.
so
I'll be out
but
after one.
you
but
got to
yeah.
do it. You got to like
Like an
Lupita
incredible,
Nyong'o that
like,
shit, and you got to do.
like series on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like.
And you would have we would have our own Julie. What do you mean?
I know, yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay, so when are you doing that?
Well, I always have good ideas, but but the energy required to follow through is a little much for me.
We need to get her some cocaine, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
This went
You
somewhere.
know, yeah, I mean, maybe like mushroom chocolate.
Oh.
I've never had it, but I've
My
heard
lips are
great
I
things.
haven't had anything, so that's why I'm like, it must be cocaine, right?
You could also do like edibles that maybe is like I can't remember. It's indica up or down, sativas
Oh.
up or down. Whatever.
yeah.
The one that's up is actually very productive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was telling them I was listening to the other Fated Mates podcast, and they have a sponsor that is the microdosing gummies. Yeah. Yeah.
Sativas up. Okay.
Okay. And like
Whoa.
they were saying, it sometimes makes them very relaxed, and other times makes them very productive.
The mushrooms.
No, the gummies,
Microdosing.
microdosing
What is it,
gummies.
mushroom?
No,
Oh,
it's CBD,
Uh,
I think. No, THC. Mhm.
CBD doesn't have.
Yeah, THC is the one. Yeah. Mhm.
My second stop after I ate breakfast, no, actually third stop. So I landed. I went to go see Cookie, obviously, and then I went to go eat breakfast, obviously, and then I went to the dispensary because I just felt like I was gonna need a lot of gummies to get through the next week.
Is it legal in Florida?
No,
Oh,
only
just
here with a medical card.
oh, okay.
So I usually stock up here. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
take
yeah.
one with me. Am I supposed to? I don't know. If you are
You
in the
know.
feds and you're listening, don't.
In Korea, actually, just recently,
Fictionalized.
Korea is so like crazy about like drugs that they just recently at the airport they post a picture of Trader Joe's everything bagel like
The
sprinkles
seasoning?
and say it's illegal because of the poppy seeds. So you won't find like lemon poppy seed like muffins or anything in Korea. Poppy seed, and in fact, like
Yeah.
even if you're a Korean citizen and say you go like overseas and you talk on a podcast about drugs, you could get in trouble. Yeah, and poppy seed to them is drugs. I know Korea is like kind of batshit about drugs. Oh, in their mind, drugs. So yeah.
Well, hopefully this will not be.
So no everything bagel, it'll get confiscated at the airport.
Oh.
I know, sad.
Does the poppy actually come from poppies?
It comes from poppy seeds come from poppies, which is opium-ish,
Opium adjacent.
opium adjacent, which makes poppy.
So what makes the poppy seeds like not like make you hallucinate? Well, this has turned into
I don't know. I don't know the science of opium, but and I don't
But
think
if I did,
I do wonder, like, if you had, like, say, like, some people eat like chia seeds in a teaspoon, and if you had poppy seeds, I do wonder if it would show up on a drug test. Maybe. I don't know.
We should Google that after.
Yeah, Google.
Maybe it's like when you gargle with mouthwash and then it shows up as alcohol.
as alcohol.
Really?
Okay.
Right on my-
Because it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
It can.
Oh, okay. I didn't either. I was like,
And I
You brought it back in.
Yeah.
it was totally on topic, guys.
Julie, back to you.
Hi.
Fantasy and YA.
Yeah.
Like, tell us everything.
Oh my gosh.
You just sounded like a muppet.
It's yes, my next two books out in 2025 are genre departures for me, and I have a young adult thriller coming out in May that I'm really excited about, and then my first romantasy book in the summer, first of a trilogy.
A trilogy.
A trilogy.
Was there any pressure to write under different names?
No, thankfully.
Lovely.
Yeah, no one even suggested it. So I'm glad. And I have heard some other authors who have written under different names say that they, not that they wish they hadn't, but that there was less of a need because it's just like a backlist thing
I do
now.
think it's a perceived need, but that
Yeah.
isn't
Right.
necessarily
Right.
Yeah. I think that's true. Yeah.
It's always people are like, oh, I hate running 2 different social media accounts, which I'm like, fair. That
Right.
would suck.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's-
My particularly for the YA at least, my the
It is
musical
upper YA, by the way. So
it's upper
yeah,
YA. Yeah.
it feels very mature.
It's very mature.
Like older kids.
Yeah.
So it feels mature. I
There's
think it was
cursing, there's drug and alcohol use, there's
murder.
muck duck.
I can't wait to listen to this while I'm driving through the woods.
Yes.
Driving.
Yes.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
But the musical that I wrote years ago was a young adult musical, like it featured teenagers. So, and that was under Julie Soto. So it's like I didn't necessarily want to separate the whole thing because I already had a piece of my career over there too.
What's the romantasy about?
Oh, well, there's an auction. Basically, the romantasy is I am adapting my popular fan fiction, The Auction, from the Harry Potter fandom. And
If we were in a crowd, everyone would be like, "Wow."
I know. Yes.
Okay.
I've been there and it's amazing.
It's great. And it's also great the amount of people who are finding out that I am my fandom persona in that moment too. Like I've never been hiding it.
The auction?
Yeah. I've never been hiding it, but it's just they just didn't either they didn't know me well enough yet. Yeah. So it is about, okay, the funny thing is I tried to give a synopsis to people who like would not have read the fic, right? And I butchered it so badly in New York with Allie that one of the head editors at Forever was there, and she sent me an email the next day just being like, hey, just in case you need it for the rest of the tour, here's the synopsis that we sent to sales. Yeah. And like, it was honestly so helpful, but I was like, I knew I butchered it. I knew I did, like,
You're very welcome for the left field question.
yeah. Of what's your next project? Completely left.
Tell us what the book is about in detail.
Yeah. But it is about 2 realms in a high fantasy world, and Bryony, our protagonist, her people have lost the war, and she is captured and sold off to the highest bidder. And it's a love story.
Well, I guess I would have. I mean, you're writing thrillers now, so I guess.
Yeah, anything can happen. Yeah.
So
So
What
then
else?
let me pull out what she said. Honest to God, it's not a bad one. It's pretty good. It's right here in my flagged emails because
it's gonna be a trilogy, and the trilogy is gonna follow the same protagonist.
yes.
Oh my god.
So it's about a woman whose castle is overrun by dark forces, and she finds herself auctioned off to the highest bidder, her most despised enemy, who also happens to be her longtime and ill-fated crush. Yes. I was like, ill-fated. Dun, dun,
How
dun.
many babies do I have to give you?
I think
3 Rottweilers at home. You
I want all 3. I want the Rottweilers and their Rottweiler babies. Let's do. I want an MLM scheme with the Rottweiler.
I would like to have Saga, so if you get Saga,
Okay.
please.
Well, then I can still have 2 under me, and we can still pyramid scheme this. Yeah.
Sorry with the raccoons though.
Oh.
I think Saga, like the raccoons have been.
Raccoons are gross, except for Dan, the 3-legged raccoon.
They haven't. She only knows Saga as like the Miami Book Fair Saga. Like that's who she knows. She doesn't know Saga's true colors, and this is where I think her love is misplaced. But what do I know?
I'm just the mom.
Justice
So-
for Saga.
Allie's love isn't necessarily placed. It's just like vomited everywhere.
Oh,
Allie loves everything and everyone. Yeah,
You know
it's
that
not carefully like
sprayed. Yeah.
it's not discerning. It's just like whoever is in the general
Projectile.
projected. Yeah, like
you know that gif of a unicorn
yes,
bumping a
spewy
rainbow.
Yeah, that's Allie. That is Allie. That is true.
Aw.
Yeah.
How much you got your shirt? That's a,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I actually have a unicorn
you know
on.
what? Next time we'll wear
The back of
justice,
my phone.
hashtag justice for Saga. Justice for
Justice
for
Saga.
I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it every day.
We could bring her to the Texas Book Fest this year.
Yes.
We could keep Saga that week.
You'll be
Yeah,
the you'll
oh
be
my
the
God.
dog sitter.
Oh, your
Yes.
cats would die. Your cats would
Yeah.
be so
The
mad.
cats, yes, the cats might not like it, but it's okay.
And
They
the
can be
raccoons will
in-
never return.
Oh my god.
That's the choice you got to make, Allie.
Oh, look at her. She
If you-
really can't
if you
decide.
really love Saga. It's the choice you got to make.
Raccoons or Saga. I'll let you think about it. You don't have to make a decision right now.
I just think I could make them get along.
I actually fear for my life that you can. And then when Saga comes back home to me, Saga's gonna want to make friends with the possums.
Oh,
Yes. Okay. We also have a very cute elderly possum in the yard. And he's so
No,
cute.
Allie.
no.
I
There,
love how
I have
old
questions
they are.
about the elderly
Yeah, how do you
aspect.
know it's
Like,
elderly?
have you counted the rings and the tail? Like, what's the?
We did it.
Like white.
You can tell
oh, okay.
when a possum is young or old. Like or at least
Okay.
they look like they need like a little cane and you know like it's they look like they are
These are Texas possums.
you get no I mean they just look like they would
What if they just had a hard life? What if it's a young possum who's had a
that totally could
Allie, you're
Like,
supposed to be calling
Yeah,
animal
just had a
services.
three-legged raccoon. We don't know how
Aw.
Dan lost her
oh
leg.
my god.
Yes, Dan's a girl. And
We've lost the plot.
I know, sorry.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Bring us back. I'll just say I hate raccoons, but I fell in love with Dan the three-legged raccoon on TikTok. This woman feeds Dan the three-legged raccoon. Later decides,
She brings him like different things to try.
yes, it's
I
Dan's
love
cafe.
it.
It's Dan's
doesn't like
cafe.
the same-
Okay, no, yes, but it turned out now Dan is a woman and just had a girl or like a female and had 3 babies.
So she's yeah.
Yeah, so now she's not
Yeah.
Danielle, and we've got 3 baby raccoons now. And the woman only feeds Dan because she thinks that, like, Dan has only 3 legs, so life is harder. And the woman also did say that the other raccoons are not nice to Dan, so now Dan is part of my heart.
So why can't her dance be part of your heart?
No, I don't like raccoons. Also, like, I just like Dan. I don't like
Danielle.
You just made it Danielle. I just made it a thing. It's Danielle.
I have to say, I feel like probably raccoons are just kind of mean, but
They
like,
are
their
mean.
personality because the mom like growls like at her.
Well, they
kids
also have
while they try to get
rabies.
food.
There's also rabies.
There's-
Yes.
And my raccoon is healthy and has no rabies.
Okay.
And I know this deep in my heart,
Okay.
deep in my medical doctor.
You haven't like captured them and taken them to the
Well,
vet.
no, because that
I-
raccoon doesn't use a cane. That's how you know, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like your possum,
Yeah,
like your
young.
old
It's a
possum.
young, healthy raccoon.
Young,
Exactly.
Yeah. No rabies.
No rabies at all. So Susan.
Oh, God. Must I?
On the topic of
Must
On
I?
the topic of adult romance. Tell us everything.
I also have 2 books out next year
Mhm.
in May.
How do y'all like shenanigan the way y'all shenanigan and also write?
Well, actually, both of us wrote these. But maybe one of you, maybe both. Well, no, the
Mhm.
Rose and Change you had to kind of rewrite, but
Mhm.
like I wrote my adult romance and you wrote your thriller before, like
Before you started shenanigan.
yeah, well, yeah, like I wrote my adult romance, my first draft back in 2021.
Mhm.
And we'd been kind of holding it and waiting for the YAs, the first couple YAs to come out. And then, and then last October, I think it was, we got approached by an editor saying they'd be interested in kind of seeing what I do with adult. And we got a book deal and we submitted this. It's a rom-com. It's about a K-beauty CEO who's great at business but terrible at love. And she enlists the help of her neighbor who has no job and lives in his parents' basement to be her like dating tutor, how to date a Korean man because she's getting set up by her parents. Now this is all premature because my editor could change the whole thing, but
Isn't that
and it-
crazy sometimes? You're
yes.
like, I'm not sure I could tell you
Yeah,
the synopsis.
I
because
know.
We could set it in space.
Also, it hasn't been announced yet, and I have told them I have the biggest mouth ever. So it's like it doesn't really matter to me when we announce because I just always tell people what I'm doing anyways. So
It's officially announced.
no, it's not announced because we haven't written a pitch yet for it. So
I like that one.
yeah. So
Yeah, I like that one too.
I love this book. I think it's super fun. So we'll see. But of course, I like have major stress and anxiety over it because I love adult romance. It's what I read, and yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it does. And then in May, that's November of 25, and in May I have my next YA, which I also love. That book I wrote like in 4 weeks because it just was so. It's totally meta. It's about romance readers, romance reviewers, and two rival romance reviewers, girl and guy, freshman year in college, and they decide to challenge each other to see who can find love first by using romance tropes. And yeah, Alex
Yeah.
reading it right now.
It's delightful, and I giggled, and like I felt like it was written for me. I'm halfway through it again, as I said.
She says to everyone, basically, it's the end's going to suck. Susan can't land.
I
Nail the landing. That's what she says to everyone.
what I said is it might still become the worst book I've ever read, but so far it's my favorite Susan book, and I love her new like her main male character. He's kind of like he teases her a lot, and I really like it. I don't know.
Love
He's
it.
very like he's very cocky in a way. I like it. I like him. I don't know. And then he's
He's a male who respects the romance genre.
yeah, he does.
He's got to be a good one.
The best part is that like so they're rivals, right? And every chapter where they are in agreement, and I'm like, oh my god, this is
What
is
happens in this
happening? What is going on? This is scary. Please. So it's just so fun. I don't know. I love it.
Okay. The trope. This is they
It's delightful.
who falls in love with tropes.
Oh, so
This is the
basically,
romance
no,
or
this
just
is the
like
YA.
YA.
Yeah, YA.
Okay, so they're using tropes to see who can.
Yes, they're in a competition and they kind of each pick 10 tropes to see like how they're going to date someone. And yeah,
Based on the tropes. So they have like, I don't know, age gap and like the freshman and the senior. It's I know. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the freshman and the
50-year-old.
the 70-year-old.
It's unfortunate.
It's not quite Maxton Hall, but
I love Maxim.
What's the second season?
I don't know. They're filming it though, apparently.
good.
Apparently filming it now.
It's
so.
it's been like huge and
Yeah.
Are the Germans in love with it
the
too?
Germans are obsessed.
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, so
That's good to know.
that's
Good.
Because that means we're getting a season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, the Germans. But I think like all the books were out, and I think when I was in
Oh, it's based on a
Germany,
book.
Yeah.
it's on
Mhm.
3 books.
Kind of like a Sweet Valley High
Yeah.
type.
They have the weirdest names, like
Yeah.
Save Me.
Yeah.
Like they're not the
Yeah.
names that you would expect, but that's it. I feel like okay, does happen when your books are translated in German? Sometimes they stick to it, like they give it an English title,
Yeah.
but it's a different English title than the original one. Like
Yes.
it's
Forget Me Not was Wedding Date.
it's so
And I was
weird.
like-
it's like that is a Jasmine Killer.
Yeah, I was like,
The name drop is Soulmates Book 2. In Germany, yeah, it is. It's Soulmates 2. Yeah.
It's so weird. Like why just
that's almost lazy.
Okay, so for someone who is single, how could they fall in love using tropes?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's go into our
that's-
advice.
makes
I get the whole
total
book,
sense.
so
Give me
yeah.
some-
It makes total sense.
Give me some advice.
Well, like it's actually more of a competition where more than falling in love, it's about how good they are at dating.
Yeah,
And like their dates that they have with other people are scored. That is
Basically, the genesis of this is she has never been in love and she's worried that people question she can't review romance books because she doesn't know romance.
and she's
But what
out
she does know is she knows tropes. So she's like, I know how a heroine would behave if she met a small town hero or if she did this. So she's like, so I might as well use tropes because I'm familiar with how I'm supposed to be in this trope. Like age gap, I should let him tell me about his experience. And so she kind of like acts the part.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, which is kind of the whole her coming of age of like who is she really and what does she want? And
Or like she goes
Yeah.
on a date with a jock for
I'm trying to figure out how I can use this to my advantage in dating.
what it does for the book, like you can see her just kind of like putting herself in situations where she wouldn't put herself
Yeah.
because of the tropes.
I mean, I think what's interesting is like she's this romance expert. That's all she identifies with in herself. But when she starts dating, she finds that she's not romantic at all. Like she doesn't like being touched. She doesn't like people being in her space. And so it's like her friend tells her, "You're the least romantic person I've ever met." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess that's true." And so she had this like she definitely like learned what to hope for and expect from romance novels, but she also has to know like falling in love isn't just what it's on page. You can't just mimic on page. You have to like, yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Is
I
the
can
gist.
fall in love with
Okay.
that's really-
We will find the tropes and we'll find the man that
Yes.
fits the tropes for you.
Yeah.
And
But
we'll
it's
plan
Can
for
we
like
start
I
an engineering convention?
Yes.
yeah, that should
Yes.
be, it
Yeah.
could be, let's see,
Well, it could be
workplace romance.
because they're working.
Or you guys should fight over that big suite and it could be
We have only
rival
one bed.
lovers.
We have only one bed.
They overbooked the suite.
Yes.
Both of us are
Yes.
booked in the same
Yes.
Yeah.
Proximity.
Yeah, forced proximity, only one suite.
Innocent suite. Especially if it's a 2-bedroom suite and they're like, you guys would both have your own rooms. You
Yeah.
just need to share the suite.
Yeah, only
But then
one
you get to
suite.
walk around naked out of the shower.
Yeah.
I think you are, Mel.
It sounds like Belle's writing.
I know.
We are co-writing it. I think we are all co-writing it.
Well, Allie and I are already going to write fan fiction about who is in the room in between us because we asked for 2 connecting rooms and they said, oh, we don't have any for checking in today, but we have some very close. And we get up there and there's like one room between us. And I was like, who's this asshole?
Devastating.
Yeah.
It is a dude too, because I peeked when the housekeeping was in there and his door was open.
But what if that
He wasn't in there,
is
but
you could
Julie's
tell.
soulmate?
Julie, if that is your soulmate
Yeah.
and not me, it's over between us.
Should I take your husband
But you
then
could
in this
be-
situation?
It's only yours.
You could be her platonic soulmate.
I'd like to be cardinal soulmates to my friends. All of you.
Okay.
Let's be cardinally soulmates.
Carnally.
Carnal soulmates.
Cardinal
That-
soulmates.
That's very Omega verse of you.
No.
Carnal.
Of the body.
Carnal pleasures.
That sounds
But also cardinal. Like I like
Yeah.
cardinals
Red.
are very pretty, but
Yeah.
A red soulmate.
yeah,
Yeah.
a cute red soulmate.
Religious
getting
figures.
the red string theory.
Religious.
It's see everything.
Can I
Everything.
this is totally off topic. I don't even know why I was saying. Forget it.
You just forgot there was a
I know.
podcast.
No, it's totally off topic. I was saying, can I send your husband soulmates and soulmates too? Because I have so many copies
In
in
German.
He would love it.
I have so many
He
German
would love it.
copies.
Sign it. He loves it.
Oh my gosh.
Do you speak German?
No, in no way.
In
I'm
no
not
way.
being honest.
Oh, you just read my DM from that girl who wrote it in
Okay, but
German.
it said vielen dank. Like it was like it was thank you very much. It was very like no.
Wait, so did you and your husband speak the same language when you met?
We speak
English.
Do it.
again. That is the thing. Like I feel bad for him because his English is perfect and my English is what it is.
Your English is
In hindsight.
in
In
hindsight.
hindsight, I should have learned German when I was in Germany.
Yeah.
In hindsight.
In hindsight.
You guys, it's just like
Allie's English has actually, I've known you for almost 6 years, I think.
I think
And
it's
your
plateaued.
English has got, no, like progressively, but like you used to ask more often, like, what word am I thinking of this? And then like, you don't ask anymore. You know. Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
So do you find that now, Allie, turning to you, do you find that when you're writing, you're
Look how
like
cute she
writing in Italian?
I think mostly in English, but also sometimes I will have like I'll be writing a song, so like blah 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 blah, and then she word in Italian. I'm like, well, wait, what's? And then I have to go on word reference, which is my dictionary.
Word reference.
It's what
Is that a site?
word reference? Yes.
Oh.
They're really good because they have like idiomatic expressions. And
Oh,
things like that.
good.
No, they are. Yeah, I mean, it's the first thing that comes up when you Google.
You could just
which-
do Papago, couldn't you? Like a translator.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, sorry. Papago is a little tricky. I think you'd like it because it has a cute little like parrot-looking icon.
I'm just like,
I really like
Google Translate is
It's-
where I stop. Yeah.
Translate has problems with like idioms.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
And like what's that word? Grammar. What's the word?
Yeah.
We need to get AI to stop working on art and start fixing
Yeah.
out Google Translate.
It really bothers me in a way because like literally just put your efforts in something.
I know.
we
It's so
could,
helpful.
we could really use
Yes.
better like
Yeah.
translations.
Yeah.
I could
Truthfully,
When
truly.
your books are translated in Italian,
Mm-hmm.
do you translate them?
No, I don't look at them. I don't like to acknowledge the fact that the books are out
In Italy?
In the world.
Now in the world period. So you don't
Outside of her
are you
brain.
in denial that you're an author?
So
That you're like
She's recovering.
kind of.
is it can I ask, is it like imposter syndrome?
No, I think it's just that you can change it. You can change anything once the book is out. So if I pick it up and there is something wrong with it, it's out there. So it's better to not know. So it's better to pretend that it's
Honestly, the greatest torture, and I think we're all learning not to do it, is to put up an annotated copy of your book for Apple.
I've never
Because
done it.
you've got to go then and read your book and comment on it, and it's the worst. It is like complete torture.
It's so true. And like I think I offered it and like I was like
I feel like you offer a lot.
every time I offer one,
She has a lot to offer.
I regret. Well, I no longer have annotations to offer
Yeah.
because
yeah.
it's like you know
the worst
it's like
torture.
it's the worst.
What if
thing.
the annotation was like by your husband?
Okay, my husband is not
What if we
allowed.
annotated each other's books?
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be
Like,
cute for
yeah.
auction.
Look
For auctions.
Look at that.
That would
Yes,
be fun.
next.
That would be fun.
Yes.
That would be
But
fun.
I
Love
love to
Hypothesis
say,
annotated by Susan Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
I can annotate.
Well, can I ask you a
Oh,
favor?
that's
I was just telling you when we were driving up here. I'm going to write like just a companion piece for between the name drop and the romance, how they know each other, basically. And one of the things is I want them to be reading a fic, and the fic is about Mallory and Nolan. So can I use one? Someone wrote a fic about Mallory. Okay, so I'm gonna.
That's her asking permission and you gave it.
Okay. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
She just went all raccoon on you.
So it's a real person fic, or is it
So they're
this check and
reading
mate
No,
exists?
they're reading a fic. No, check and mate doesn't exist.
Okay.
So they're reading a fic about the chess champions, Mallory and Nolan.
So, but it's a real person fic of the chess champion.
Yeah, of the chess. So Mallory and Nolan are
That's
real.
cool.
They're real
Yeah.
in.
And then one of
universe.
them's going to be like, no, I think I've met Nolan before. Like I've gone and watched them play before.
The multiverse
Multiverse.
expands.
Oh my god.
This is like
And then two people are having sex in eating tacos, having sex in an elevator while they're going. And one's holding a cello, and everyone's like, "This is such a weird thing. We'll take the next
I
elevator."
love how Susan could have just been like, and they're listening to a band called Thorn and Roses. But no, she was like, no, in my YA book, there's going to be sex in an elevator with
elevator
tacos.
sex.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Wait, is that really in it? Oh. Sometimes when I read books, I like wonder if like people could like drop little eggs like that. So like it's
Yeah.
like all of the characters know each
Yeah.
other. Like
Okay.
all of the fictional characters.
In the world.
Emily, who has written a ton of amazing books. In like her latest, the Catch.
Mhm.
So basically, there is this American person who ends up in Canada,
Mhm.
and she says something like, "Oh, I don't know anything about Canada except like the fact that this person's cousin, Olive, is Canadian, but she's now in the US," or something like that. So, and that is the main character of my first book. So we had this like weird. I know. It was like, Amy, I love you. We're in the same debut group, so it was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
I have a group of Korean writer friends, and all of us agreed in our first books to include H Mart. So it was like our little thing to each other. So there's always an H Mart seat in all of our books. So
last time I was in California, Susan brought me to H Mart, and it was the best day of my life. After the day I met Saga.
And after whatever the other
And
one
after
is.
We
today.
forgot.
Today.
The day-
After today, too.
There was another one.
Yeah,
What was the other?
Today was the day of the podcast was the best.
No, that's
And
not
at the beginning,
true.
I say this is the best day of my life, and then I said no. Well,
No, I
You
know
did
Saga was
say-
and then
number,
I said
Saga
that
was
the
number
wet
2.
one wasn't because in
True.
the site that was the whole thing. Now that we have summarized the podcast for the listeners,
You could totally
We
do
both
some
are.
great editing on
Yes.
this and just go back,
Yes.
like cut
Yeah.
through what we were actually talking about.
We most definitely didn't spoil my book at all.
Oh,
That's good.
definitely did not.
listen, I was excited.
Ellie, what are you working on?
I'm writing the sequel to Bride.
Yes.
If I write the sequel, if
I need to
am-
you inject that in my brain.
yeah, I mean, I am still writing, but I think
It doesn't matter.
I-
As you type it.
Yeah.
You think it's a good one?
The AI needs to work on that.
Yeah. Like, please.
that would be amazing. Like
I know.
you have an idea and like it downloads the idea from into a manuscript.
Yeah.
AI, what are you doing?
Is this not 2024? I mean, come on.
No.
Exactly. So I don't know that it's a good one, but I was home for like 10 days just writing, and I think I figured it out.
Who's the book about?
The book is about so at the like you have the best friend in Bride that she's been looking for, and then she finds her, Serena, as you Americans say. By the way, it's called like I named that character Serena because I had just read what is the title of the book? Is Ariana Herrera's book with Theo, the swimmer turned billionaire hero.
Oh, on the hustle.
On the Hassle.
Mm.
Okay. So, and I love that book so much. And her name is Alba Serena. And so I was like, I love this. Like, it was a homage to that book that I was reading at the time. So that's her name. And he is the alpha of
The guy.
pack.
Yeah. What's his name?
Cohen.
Cohen.
I did not know I was gonna write a book about him when I named him. So I'm like, it's a good name, but it's a weird name. Like it's a name that I had never heard before. So I'm like, will people? Yeah. But then again, the main character of the first book was Misery. So like, we can't go weirder than that.
Oh, hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, yeah, we love
How
it.
many books are gonna be in the series?
Just two. Like this is the first time that I'm writing a book that people are like excited about, and
Okay, the first time.
I'd love to return to your question about is it imposter syndrome? Yeah.
No. I mean, it's the first time that like people are really nice and excited about my next book, but I don't know how to explain like because people already know the universe, you know. So
Yeah.
like people are like,
And you basically ended
Well,
Bride with
exactly.
like clearly these two
Yeah.
attractions.
one, if I have like a duology or a trilogy, I want to write it before.
Uh-huh. Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
is the
That
way,
makes sense.
For me,
Yeah.
it's been, but I also am very, I don't know, get in my head about this stuff. So,
Mm.
but it's been hard because I'm like, is that what the people want?
Oh, the people want it.
But at some point,
I am the people and the people want it. But also I've gotten a lot of questions of like, oh wait, there's a second book, and I'm like, yeah. But then I didn't realize that like maybe like I don't know if I just knew that. Or
It
you
was-
had put that out.
You haven't announced it on
It's
social
not
like
announced.
or in
Maybe
trade.
that's what it is. Because
Yeah.
I feel
but
like,
I've been telling people,
Yeah.
like even on social
On
media, I've
tour.
been saying,
I'm like, yeah, there's a
Yes.
second book. And
Yeah.
they're like, no.
I think most people who don't understand the business of publishing, it's clear that there's a second book because you open-ended the first book
Right.
yeah,
with a couple,
Right.
you know. So I think everyone's assuming that couple's having a book
Yeah.
too. But then there's also just the business of publishing of having to like dot all the I's
yeah,
and cross the
and
T's.
like
yeah.
because I
Right.
originally I was gonna write it as so wet, deep end.
The
It's gonna
artist
be-
formerly known as Wet. Yeah.
Exactly. It's gonna be the last book in my contract as what? It's gonna be the last book in my contract. Originally was gonna be Serena's book, but we kind of decided not to because we were like, we don't know if Bride is gonna do well. If it sells nothing, like no, maybe no one is gonna buy it. So we kind of went with Wet because it felt like a safer alternative.
Mhm.
And I'm very glad. Like that's my favorite book I've written. I'm so happy.
Wet.
Why don't we have that yet?
Wet. She offered it to me and then said, "Never mind. I can't actually give it to you." And I said,
Do
"Oh,
a Word file. If you
Yeah.
I would love that."
Actually, no, I can't send you a Word
Yep,
file.
this is what she did to me.
No.
Uh,
Yep.
No,
can you use
I
the
can send you
PDF?
a PDF.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
can I
that is what I
ask you
want.
that?
Yes, I
That's
will send you
fine.
guys the PDF. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't give it to you for the thing that we were talking about.
Okay, so Not Wet. Tell me
Not
about
Wet.
Not Wet.
Not Wet is about
That would be a terrible title.
Just damp.
Not Wet.
Wet, just damp.
no, it's dry with an H between
Yeah.
the D and the R.
This
Try,
very
try.
Black Dagger Brotherhood coded. It is Black Dagger Brotherhood
Right.
coded. Yes. The H's and
That is-
all the random H's in the names.
Podcast with?
J.R. Ward,
No.
Nalini.
Why are we
You
bothering?
want to be in the room.
Oh,
when it
god damn.
happens.
You know who we're going to breakfast with?
I know. Don't tell anyone.
Off the record.
I'll be there. No, it's fine. I think that one's
Just,
fine.
why is Nalini
You're like,
Singh
this is
the most
painful.
perfect human being to ever exist?
I was gonna ask you, why is Lily Singh your favorite human
Mm.
ever?
I just like I was thinking about it the other day, thinking that I would meet her, and like I kind of teared up a little bit because I think it's because her books were so important to me at a time where I felt a little bit alone. Like I didn't have a bad experience in college, but I was reading her in my first and second year, and I felt very overwhelmed about everything. And I don't know, like I remember, yeah, I remember her books were the thing that I was looking forward to. Like I never looked forward to a book more than I did to Kiss of Snow. And I just I don't know, like I owe her so much for just
Yeah.
existing and
Yeah.
putting this stuff out in the world. And so I was getting like very emotional when I was thinking about it. And she's gonna be here at the conference, and
That's lovely.
I'm probably gonna throw up on her lap or something.
I mean, we know
Like a cat.
you like projectile comment.
Yeah, it'll be a
Exactly.
throw up of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope she will see it that way. Honestly. I hope she will see it that way.
And she's also one of the first and most famous and successful authors of color doing this.
Right.
So, I mean, she's really a pioneer. So,
And she, she wrote
It's like
authors, like authors.
Yeah.
in the same.
Yeah, yes.
It's like-
I know. You
There's
did
too
this.
much.
You did this. You brought them here at
yeah,
the same time.
you did this.
But
You
she
did
also
this.
makes
That part.
I
Imposter syndrome.
was going to say, I was about to say, let's go into a positive.
it's really interesting. Miss Bev and Nalini and Sherry Thomas.
Sherry Thomas.
Mm.
And like you think about these authors and you're like,
Yeah.
the things that they have done for this genre, like it's just staggering. You
Yeah.
think about it and you're like, I'm gonna shit myself.
Yeah.
because,
Don't.
it's a big room. You cannot
Yeah.
read the little poop there.
The little.
I
Oh,
was there. I saw.
how were the
pictures
goats?
and
The goats were lovely.
I heard they were
Did they
lovely.
smell like little babies?
I was asking her, did they poop?
They smelled
I
like
know.
Goats? Like a
goats.
petting farm. It
Yeah,
smelled like a
that's
petting
what they
farm.
smelled like, but they were so lovely. And then sometimes you would carry them and go,
That's great.
and that would scare the shit out of me. But they were so cute.
Are they like? Do they enjoy humans?
I don't know. I think she enjoyed me though.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're used to like people.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Okay, yeah.
Like they're
Yeah. They're socialized.
Trying to go in the wild, do not.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
this is something we do need to tell Allie, probably.
Yes, Allie.
don't.
They all have PJs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
was,
Yeah. I thought about getting
Little
them like little
pajamas
baby
on baby
PJs, but I
goats.
thought like budget. Do I really need to
Budget.
spend on, like, baby goat pajamas?
I know.
But I feel like a missed opportunity. Okay, back to Not Wet.
Mhm.
Not wet.
Okay, so it's actually set in college, and it's at a Stanford, which I said it at Stanford because I had another book set at Stanford. My first book was at a Stanford, and
Do you
I
have
was
connections to
like-
Stanford?
me, no,
Okay.
you know,
Have you
I-
been to Stanford?
no. As many reviewers,
As
of
many
the Life
reviewers.
pointed out, this bitch has never even been in California, and I was like, and you are correct. I don't know why I said the first one at Stanford. I really think I wanted it to be in California because I like the weather in California, and that was literally it. And I was like, why not? And now, basically, I wanted certain characters to come back in Wet, and so
Certain characters, do you
characters.
say?
and actually they were kind of a big part of the plot. And
Really?
We'll find out when we get the email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when it comes out in February
February. Yeah.
on release day. much like every other Allie Hazelwood book.
Are you gonna do like a release party at a pool?
Oh my God, a pool party in February.
Yeah,
In Florida.
I know.
But in
I think,
Florida.
yeah. I didn't think of doing a release party at all, but
I feel like a pool party.
unfortunately, I don't know.
With swimsuits that say wet.
I don't know if I can have a release party because it comes out very close to Julie's birthday. And last year I was traveling for Julie's birthday. And I really hope that this year I will be traveling for Julie's
Julie's
birthday too.
It sounds exactly like what I've always wanted. Is me in a swimsuit in February.
What's your birthday?
February
Celebrate
12th.
Allie.
Celebrating Allie. Yeah, that's what I want for my birthday.
I celebrate Allie.
To be
Just
clear,
for you.
be clear, I don't want to celebrate. But I just want to be traveling and not thinking about the book. That's all
I can do that. I already have a plan
You
for my
do?
birthday. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not gonna share it or else everyone will come.
Yeah.
Was I going to be invited?
Yes.
What about me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Forget this book. We're going to Julie's birthday party.
Well, it might be
Birthday
the
party
first time Julie
on
reads the book,
ours.
so she
Yes.
might not.
Yeah, that might be my birthday is
Your
actually like
birthday?
we're going
Oh,
to a hotel and Allie's gonna read it aloud to
Your
us.
birthday present is going to be the arc, and I'm gonna send it to you tonight. So I'm done with the birthday. I will get
what
you
should
another.
do is when you do get it and you start reading it, you should start annotating it right away. So that if actually if you annotate the
I do need a
PDF, then you can just
PDF.
copy the
The annotation.
annotations into every
Oh.
book. You
That's a
auction
lot of technology.
That's a lot of tech though, yeah.
That-
No, you're right though, because then you're just looking
Yeah.
at the
Because it's a past pages,
But
so
then
it
you
will
don't
be
get
the
the little,
same.
you don't get the little stickers though.
Yeah.
Or you would end up transferring it over to
Yeah,
the book.
there would-
but
there
it's
would be
just that you already
copy.
have it.
Actually, it's better with the stickers. When I had to annotate my book, I was like, oh, there's only like 6 stickers in there. That doesn't look quite as impressive.
I got
as
tabs
that.
of all the parts that I'm impressed with. Zero
This is
tabs.
why you shouldn't have to annotate their own
That's
book.
Yeah.
exactly true.
No
Now you
one.
have found the solution to your problem.
Yeah.
I should annotate like I don't know, like an Annalene missing book.
Yeah.
Like I could basically be like, okay, so picture 22-year-old me crying. I'm reading this part, and
Yeah.
finally I'm not
Yeah,
crying.
let's think of which author we'd want to annotate.
Yeah.
But it can't be someone on this
You
couch.
should annotate anything that has to do with nodding.
Mm,
I mean, I'm ready. I'm
You
willing.
ready?
I am able.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
There are several nodding fan fictions that I would annotate actually.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Okay, which author? Which romance author? Right? Or which author in general?
I would annotate Kate Claiborne
Mm,
because I'm like, I always think of, oh, perfectly written. Never thought, it's like everything is very, because it's so different from what I do that it always makes me think, oh, how did she
Yeah.
do this?
I want more people to get how smart Nikki Payne is. Like when because I feel like you can gloss through it if you don't know Austen that well, but I would love to annotate Sex, Lies, and Sensibility and be like, Willoughby, it's hilarious
Yeah.
that he said it like this because like I would love to like
Read that annotation.
Yeah.
Because I am not an
I would
Austen
pay
reader.
them.
yeah.
So I want in on the Austen jokes because I don't read Austen.
Me
Yeah.
too. I don't get them. because
Yeah,
I've
me
never
neither.
read
So I
them.
need an annotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys,
Well, that's why I remember with the Pride and Prejudice party last year. I was like,
I've only
never
watched the movie.
it,
Oh, you have
so-
never watched the movie?
No, I
And you had to
watched
put
it,
up with
never
us screaming our way through it.
I do
Wow.
love the movie. I've seen it probably 100
I
times.
also
Yes.
say that this is
Can I
another
annotate a
reason why
movie?
I think Susan's book, The Romance Rivalry,
Off the record.
off the record, might resonate with you. I will say no more.
Yes. Yes.
I will say no more.
On the next episode of Romance Unleashed,
She burped into the mic, so we can start over.
Every one of my characters is 6 Maddie. Always talks about BDSM when she's drunk.
If you're gonna name a city, you really gotta copy Oregon.